want you to stand right at the top of your mat with your feet about hip distance apart. Find maybe even the little bony anterior hip points. Draw a plumb line if you're looking straight down through the center of the knee, down, 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 mid-ankle, right out through the second and third toes. Either find a steady gaze or close your eyes here. Place your hands one lower, one higher along your torso. Bring awareness to your breath. Notice the flow of your breath. I've been preaching the benefits of the book, Breath, by James Nestor for a couple of weeks. Within the book, he translated Yoga Sutra 2.51 in this way. When a wave comes, it washes over you and runs up the beach. Then the wave turns around and recedes over you, going back to the ocean. This is like the breath, which exhales, transitions, inhales, transitions, and then starts the process again. Allow the breath to be that ocean wave coming in, washing back out. I found this so helpful that I went to my few translations of the Yoga Sutras and looked up that same sutra, which had never hit me like that before. And this is what one of my translations says: a fourth type of breath control goes beyond the range of exhale and inhale. Nothing about the beauty of the ocean coming in and out. Another translation says the fourth kind of pranayama transcends external and internal operations. Same sutras, different translations. Same breath each time, different offering to it. So today, as we practice many of the same poses with the same breath, perhaps they transition differently, transcend differently, roll in, roll out differently. Be there for it all. Relax the arms back down by your side. And then inhale and lift the arms up, open the eyes and look towards your hands. Reach, reach, reach. Hold on to your right wrist and reach up and over to the left side. Push your hips a bit away from you. Rock like an ocean coming in, coming out. Come back to the center. Hold on to the second wrist. Reach up and over. Keep the chest open, shoulders open. Look straight to the side or even up. And then inhale and come back to the center. Separate your hands, Utkatasana, bend your knees, sit into your thighs. Interlace your hands behind your back. With the elbows bent, squeeze in. Take your head closer to your knees now, and then try to extend your arms straighter and up over towards the sky. Stand back up, release the hands, lift them towards the sky. This time, as you hold on to the right wrist again and lean towards the left, push all of your weight into the right leg and lift your left leg off of the mat. Find the balance there, a little trickier in how it comes and goes. And then back to the center, hold on to your second wrist. Same thing, up and over. Push the weight now towards the left side so that the right foot can come up, maybe tap up and down or hold. Set both feet back down, arms straight out in front of you now, about shoulder height. Turn the palms in, bend the knees, sit down into your thighs. A little different form of Utkatasana. We keep the arms forward, keep sending your thighs down, your butt way back, and get a little bit lower, lower, lower. Inhale, come all the way back up. Stretch your arms to the sky. Now interlace both hands and flip the palms, thumb and first finger more towards the sky. Stay as vertical as you can in the upper body, in the torso. Knit the lower ribs in towards the belly. And you can release the hands from the clasp. Keep everything else, bend the knees. And this is a higher seat in Utkatasana because we're doing all of the work to stay super vertical in the upper body. Exhale, forward fold. Reach down to the floor. Ragdoll pose here. Take your feet a little wider apart now. Give a bend through the elbows, through the knees, and just sway back and forth. Be with your breath. Be with this movement. I always love how the opening of this class warms up the body right away. Notice it, feel it. And then change to downward facing dog. Place your hands forward. Walk your feet back. Downward dog. Feel free to pedal out the feet here a little bit in downward facing dog. So we are into the month of May. You'll see versions of this sequence. It's Yogahour 9 sequence throughout the month. From here, go to all fours. Lower your knees. Do cat and cow. I know that one of the mentions of the ocean coming in and out, and how that matches with the breath, is this thought that the breath is automatic. And when we do some work to control the breath, then when we release that control, it continues with the power of rolling in and rolling out. So you practice regularly through the movement, the mind, the breath. So now here, cat and cow. It's sort of this automatic movement and power that fills us. One more round of cat and cow. And then right into a twisted version. Take your right arm under the left, set right shoulder, ear, side of the face down to the mat. Lift the left arm up to the sky and tuck the left hand behind the right hip. Do any of those versions that work. And then release, left hand back beside your face, all the way up to all fours. Second side, tuck the left arm under the right, shoulder, ear, side of the face down to the mat. Lift the right hand high. Tuck it behind the left hip. Try to keep the hips pretty square. It's gonna be more weighty right now on the left side. We just do our best. And then bring yourself back up to all fours. Stretch one leg straight back behind you, toes tucked and on the ground. This version of plank pose, one knee down. Full plank pose, two knees up. Give it a try. Look a little ahead of your mat. Squeeze your glutes, lengthen the tailbone, tone the belly. As much as you press back into your heels, think of the crown of the head sending more out in front. Stay here, high plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Interlace your hands behind your back and lift everything that you can up. Of course, anytime I ask you to interlace hands and that doesn't feel the best for you, you simply don't do it. Leave them open. Exhale, release. Push back to child's pose. Change to downward facing dog. Side plank, it's only for a breath. Right hand, outer edge of the right foot. Lift the left arm up to the sky. And then lower the left hand, switch over to the other side. Outer edge of the left foot, lift the right hand high. There's repetition here, but it's quick each time. Come back to plank. Lower flat down. Take the hands behind the head, point the elbows more out towards the sides, and lift everything that you can up. Keep the legs straight. Take the elbows more forward to make that more doable, more out to the side for more difficulty. Exhale, lower down, press back to child's pose. Change to downward facing dog. Side plank, it's right hand, outer edge of the right foot, left arm to the sky. Exhale, hand down, switch to the second side. Outer edge of the left foot, left hand down, right hand up. Come back to the center, plank pose. Hold it steady for a breath. And then lower down, superhero. Arms out in front of you, like an X on your mat, but a little closer, squeeze in. Lift everything that you can up. Exhale, lower it down, press back to child's pose. Downward facing dog. Third, last set of side plank pose. Right hand, outer edge of the right foot, lift. Left hand high. Nicely done. Switch it to the second side. Gaining a little more muscle memory into where we go, so it's more automatic. Come back to high plank. Lower down, this time cobra. Peel the chest up as you press the hands and feet down. And child's pose, push it back. From child's pose, actually sit down on your bottom. Flip over, so you're on your bottom, feet out in front, hands behind you. Turn the fingers so they face out to the long edges of your mat. Table pose, press down into your feet and your hands. My kids would call this crab pose. Look at your belly here and try to lift your hips up so the belly keeps lifting as well with the freedom of your breath. Lower your bum back down to the mat. Take a full breath. Choose to do the exact same thing a second time or go with straight legs, more challenge. Lift everything up. If you're going with straight legs, still try to stretch through the front of your ankle to get your toes down. And then again, lower your seat. Flip over to downward facing dog. So cross at the ankles, through to all fours, step up and back. Bend your knees a lot and walk your hands backwards to your feet. Both hands to your hips, point the elbows to the sky, press down through your feet and come all the way up to standing. As you stand up, lift your arms to the sky. Here at the back end of your mat, look at the front end of your mat. Pick your right knee up and into your chest. Hook your arms underneath your thigh. Extend your leg. Push through your standing leg, push through your lifted leg. Stay here or, more challenge, lift the arms back up to the sky. What does it give you? Rebend the right knee and then take a giant step forward into a high lunge. A little bit of faith there, a little bit of trust in what we know the body can do, what it's done before. Breath in, breath out. Hinge forward, press your butt back and your arms forward. Take it into a twist here. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Bring palms together, point the right elbow more up to the sky. Untwist, set the hands down on either side of the foot, step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees a lot, walk the hands to your feet. Hands to the hips, point the elbows up, press down into your feet, come on upright. Let's give it a go on the second side, arms to the sky. Left knee to chest. So we're building on stage by stage. Do the work stage by stage so that we can roll in and roll out with a little more efficiency and effectiveness. Straighten the left leg. So you've given yourself all the bases of support. Let one support go and see what stays. Arms back up to the sky. Bend the left knee. Ready? High lunge, step it forward. Lie your belly down onto your thigh and add the twist, palms together, right elbow towards the left side. The elbow stays lifted or hooks down. If you're hooking, dig in a little bit. Lift your back thigh higher to broaden across the low back. Slowly untwist, set both hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank pose. Hover right above the mat. Can you stay? Right into cobra, peel the chest up, press down through hands and feet. So good. Child's pose. From child's pose, lift your torso and come to kneeling. Hands to the hips. Step the right foot forward and then back think we did this a couple of weeks ago. We're trying it. Forward and back. Stability in the torso. How do you rock a little bit? What can you stay? Step forward and stay. Then hips down and forward. Keep the right foot flat on the mat, even as the knee extends beyond the front line of the toes. Foot flat. Arms up. On an exhale, lower the hands down, pick up the back knee. Face the long edge of your mat for a wide-legged forward fold. Hands about the same line as your feet. Head down just a little in front. To get to the second side, you'll be looking at the back edge of your mat. Look towards the left foot, round into your low lunge. Drop the back knee. We come up, kneeling, and we'll step the left foot forward and back a few times. What happens if you tuck the back toes and then do the step? Does that make it better? Maybe, maybe not. Keep the left foot forward, 90-degree stance to start with. So then as we send our hips down and forward, the knees still over the second and third toes, the knee can safely go beyond the line of the foot as long as we keep it in the center and keep your left foot flat. Arms up. It's a different look at Anjaneyasana. I find this a little more doable in the back thigh, not overextending the hip flexor. And then lower the hands, lift up the back knee. And again, take your wide-legged forward fold, feet parallel to one another. Hands about in line with your feet. Head reaching down towards the floor. Everyone look back towards your right foot, the front edge of your mat, spin into your long, low lunge. And then step forward, both feet to the front end of your mat. Hands to your thighs, half lift, extend to your L shape. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms high. Palms together, center of the chest. Pause here for a moment. Take in what you notice in breath and body. For the month of May, our mantra is kind, beautiful, and capable of big things. So using the experience of this practice to be the reminder to be kind in the way you approach it. Be bright and beautiful in its expansiveness. And we're capable of so much. So let's keep showing that off. Lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot back into the lunge. Both hands to the inside of your foot. And let's open up into triangle pose from this bottom stance. Spin the back heel down. Keep the right hand on your mat. Think side plank as you lift your left arm up to the sky. And then straighten the right leg as much as it will straighten. keeping your right hand down, keeping the torso open, keeping the left hand high. Doesn't have to go all the way straight. Just give it some experience, some breath. Bring the left hand back down beside your right hand. Rebend the right knee a lot. Now drop your shoulders as low towards the mat as you can. No arms on the ground. And try wrapping your right arm under your right thigh. Can you take your left hand back up like side plank? And finally, drop it behind your left hip. Find the right hand if that works. You're in your bound side angle. Left hand releases, goes back up. Everything releases, low lunge. Step it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank pose, lower to your mat. Peel the chest up. Downward dog. Take a couple of breaths. Look to your hands, step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Let the wave rush in, rush out. Second side, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Keep your left foot forward, step your right foot back into that long, low lunge. Bring both hands to the inside of your foot. Okay, spin the back heel down. Remember, it's triangle pose first, and it's gonna feel and probably look a little bit different. So take apart the pieces that we know. Right hand high, chest open, like you do in side plank. Then try to make your left leg as straight as it'll go, to or towards straight, keeping the left hand down on the ground. There's more twist here, more ask. Now bring the right hand back beside your left hand. Rebend the left knee a lot. If you need to lengthen, widen your stride, go for it. Okay, no hands on the ground. Dip your shoulders down towards or even under the line of your left thigh. And then bind. Left hand goes under the thigh to reach up. You can think side plank again as you lift the right hand high. Try to open across the head, the shoulders, the chest, the belly. And then like that twisted child's pose, the option to drop the hand behind to the opposite hip. Different perspective, kind of same words. Release the bind. Look at your left foot. Come to plank pose. Lower down to your yoga mat. Cobra and downward facing dog. Lift the hips all the way up and back. Stay with down dog for a couple of breaths. Look forward to your hands and then step or jump again to the front end of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky, and palms together, center of the chest. We've been here before. Does it feel the same, different? Take it in. Start again, arms up, reach. Exhale, fold. Right foot stays forward, step the left foot back into that long, low lunge. Half moon pose, balance on your right hand, right foot. Lift the left leg off of the mat. Try to make your left and right leg as straight as they'll go here. And then I want you to change. Bend your left and right knee as much as you can. Round your back like cat pose, balancing on one foot. Slide your left hand to the front of your left ankle. And try to re-straighten the standing leg. Point your left knee straight back to the back end of your yoga mat. And then think side plank. Can you open the torso more towards the side, keeping the hold, the bind of your foot and hand. The body turns more towards the left. Take your eye gaze where you can stay balanced. Ardha Chandra Chapasana, a bound half moon pose. Curl back into your cat pose. Ooh. And 2 feet to the ground. Jump back to downward facing dog. That jump might look like a step. Come forward to plank. Lower to your mat. Cobra. Little more. Find your cobra. Downward facing dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Let's just go right into the second side here. Step the left foot forward into the long, low lunge. And then all the weight comes into the front hand, front foot. Lift the right leg up. Again, can you make your right and left leg as straight as possible? And then change, bend both knees, curl in, tight little ball. Take the right hand down the front of the shin to try to grab hold of the front of the ankle, front of the foot. And then as you straighten the left leg more, flip the thigh, point the right knee back towards the back end of your yoga mat. If that's still playing for you, start to open the hips. Turn the belly, turn the shoulders more open. Think side plank in the upper torso. Can you keep holding on to the foot and curl back into that cat shape in the back? And then release the right foot down beside the left. Half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach both arms to the sky. Palms together, center the chest. We're here again. Inhale. Transition, exhale. Transition, inhale. Transition, exhale, time and again. Okay, open your eyes, reach both arms back up to the sky and pick your right knee up and into your chest. Done it, so we're in the same shirt. I just noticed that. Okay, right knee up and into the chest. Again, you're gonna hold underneath that thigh. This time, instead of staying straight on, we're gonna work to open the hips. So now this knee is gonna go out towards the side and hug the front of your shin. Similar to what you were trying to do in Ardha Chandra Chapasana, holding the front of the foot, but this time you're on the shin. Option 1, you stay and work here. Plenty to work and balance with already. I'm gonna bend the bottom knee just to give myself a little bit more ease to change this pose. Hold on to your foot and knee and turn. If you fall out, we just come back in. Okay, other options here. This is a good one. You might want to stay with it. Other options are to find the fold of the forearms or elbow to knee. That, of course, like I'm doing, brings your torso more over, and then you try to bring the whole unit more upright. Play with it. Put your back against a wall, hold on to something, or just come in and out of balance. Fun times. Let's lower the foot down, shake it out. So it's elevated pigeon pose that we're going for. If we take it stage by stage, should be able to find the one that works for you. Left leg up, arms to the sky, and then wrap underneath the knee. Find the things we've already done. Now take it out to the side. And this is a great place to hold and work with as well. If that works, try more of the figure 4 shape of the foot. Hold on to ankle and knee. Now I bend the bottom standing leg to help rotate, externally rotate and open through the hip there. And then either working there or with a deeper hold, forearms or elbows. Flex your foot, your lifted leg, spread through your toes. Stay away from a sickled foot here. Could be too much pressure on the knee. And then we'll try to get out of this safely. Shake out the legs a bit. Again, start with the arms up. So this is obviously our standing balance portion of this sequence. We've got 2 more. Kick your right heel towards your bum. Hold on to the outside of the foot. This is the same hold as that half moon bind. Dancer, Rajasana, holding the outer edge of the foot. Lean a little forward. Lift your thigh up and back. Stand on 2 feet. And then try it on the second side, arms up first so you get all of the length and stretch. That can be super important. And then left heel towards the seat. Take left hand to hold on to the outside of the foot. Like the pose before it, I always have a little bend in the standing leg, so that as you hinge and come forward, there's just a little bit more room before you get trapped in the hamstrings. And then from there, you can play with the waves of the breath, the waves of the pose to go towards more of a standing straight leg. Come back, stand on 2 feet. Top of your mat, if not already there. I think we'll call that one a wrap for the standing balance work. Come to the front, fold over in a bent knee, forward fold. Keep the right foot forward, step your left foot back into a low lunge. Lower the left knee to the mat. Hands to your front thigh, send the hips down and forward. We were here earlier, but probably in a shorter stance that we came to from that kneeling and then step. So a little more stretch now through the back leg. This naturally comes into a little lower of a back bend. Make sure you stay lifted in the torso so that you're not shifted down into the low back. Then take the arms up. You can try this with a bind of the back foot, meaning left heel towards your bum. just like you did in dancer pose a moment before. The left hand reaches back to hold the outside edge of the foot. You can work here with one arm, or both hands can find that back foot. Still think long through the torso. Lift the chest. Hips down and forward as much as it works, all at the same time. Come out one arm at a time. Back toes back to the mat. Hands down to the mat. Step it back to plank pose. Lower chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Look to your hands, step or jump, front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Flow into the second side, lift the arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Keep left foot forward, step the right foot back. Lower your right knee to the ground, bring both hands up to the front thigh. Let each kind of stage of the pose stand on its own. The breath, though, helping you to transition into the next form. So then arms up. As breath and body are ready, back heel comes in towards the outer hip. Right hand, hold on to the outer edge of the right foot. Left hand, hold on to the inner edge of the foot. Heel stays close into the outer hip, and try to send everything a little more down and forward, even as you lift the shoulders, the chest up and back. So hard. Slowly release. Both hands down beside the foot. Step it back to plank. Lower down. Cobra. Downward dog. Child's pose, knees down, press back. Guess what? That's the last pose of this sequence on our feet. So we are gonna stay lower to the mat here. Doesn't mean easier. Don't trick yourself. Come to a seated position because the first thing is boat. Hands behind the little crease of the knees. Lift your feet up. Different points of the body. Bearing the weight, bearing the work. The tide has changed. It is still with us. Breathe in, breathe out. Extend the legs as straight as they'll go. Arms off of the legs as works. Boat pose for 3 breaths. Tap your feet back down, lie down onto your back. Okay, so you need enough room if you have space. I like to do this one actually lying with my torso, butt on the one long side of the mat, shoulders on the other side, so that I can take my hands out into a T shape, and I'm still mostly just needing the width and length of my mat. And then take your feet straight up into the air. I'm going right into the most challenging version of this with your head, shoulders, arms on the ground. Send your feet over towards one hand. Try to catch your feet into your hand. If you think, nah, that's not for me, you bend the knees and it's a seated or supine twist. Okay, 2 feet back up to the sky. Grunts are totally acceptable, you're on mute. Left or second side, feet to the second hand. And then back up to the center. Can you do it one more time? First side, legs straight or legs bent, and center. Try to hover your feet right above the mat, right above the hand, and back up to your center. Knees into chest, give yourself a nice embrace there. And safely rock back up to a seated position. We did standing or elevated pigeon. We're doing seated pigeon now. So it's like right knee up and into your chest and then out to the side like we had to do. And then you're turning the leg. Now, butt's on the ground, so you're a little more planted in where you go, but you don't have to worry about balance. So it's just a different look, similar pose. You can hold under the shin, or again, take eye of the elbows around the foot and knee. I usually call this like baby cradle position. And then this takes us into our backpack. Try to swing the leg over the shoulder, clamp down. Hands on either side. Lift your seat, lift your leg, squeeze in. 2 feet back down to the ground. And then pull your left knee into your chest and out to the side. And the direction here, the lift and the reach back of the thigh should already be with you. And then we're just working a little more on that external rotation in the hip as we take the cradle position. Again, you've got lots of choices on the arms there. Still spread your toes of the left foot and kind of push through your big toe. Pull back on the pinky toe. That'll keep your outer calf muscles really engaged and strong, which is going to help to stabilize through the knee. Okay, and then we go back to that first direction of thigh, more back, and try to hook. I'm doing the extra grunts to get the shoulder high today, right on the or get the thigh right onto the shoulder, but anywhere above your elbow can help that clasp, and try to lift up. Like a gut punch to the pelvic floor to help the lift, and then extend the leg and give it a little bit of a shake there. Okay, from here, I said no more feet, but you do have to go to downward facing dog once. Come on over, go to downward facing dog. But it's usually for good reason, because pigeon pose is here. Right knee to the right wrist, heel towards the left hip, and walk the left leg back. Come down to your forearms. I'm not going to get fancy with this one today. Just find where you can be somewhat still in your outer form. Start to slow and bring the attention in. Soften the face. As much as possible, keep the mouth closed and breathe in and out of your nose. As you start to build the torso back up, lean and fall onto the right side so you can bring your back leg around to the front. A twist here, 2 options. Keep the heel tucked in so that both legs are crossed in your twist and you're going towards the front leg. So I've got right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. To make that twist more doable, extend the bottom leg out. A little easier to keep balanced on both sides of the seat that way. On an inhale, come out of your twist. And now I want you to fold this top knee more down towards the bottom knee and fold over. And this can happen with the bottom leg extended or still tucked under. So this is like cow face legs. Lift your torso, both arms up to the sky. We'll add the cow face arms. Okay, so I have my left leg on top. You probably do too. And I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back with the right arm, right hand, pat on the back. And then the left hand goes back behind you. It's like those binds that we've done a little bit. And you try to walk the hand up to maybe find the top hand. I usually have a gap between my hands and I just kind of like hold on to my shirt like it's a yoga strap. Lean your head back into the lifted arm. And then release the hands. And we got to find our way to downward facing dog. So that top leg can go all the way back. Can end up in pigeon, thinking, why didn't I just stay there the whole time? And then you're in down dog. Second side, left knee to the left wrist, heel tucks in towards the right side. Come down to your forearms, you're here. For those of you with me live, we're taking a few minutes beyond our 10 a.m. marker because I started a few minutes late. So don't worry, you're still getting in that Shavasana. Last little series here. Let's work it out. Come on upright, lean over towards your left side. Take the right foot all the way up and over. You're into a close twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Again, this can be done with the bottom leg extended to create a little bit more space. For that matter, I hope you're always looking for what makes the poses most accessible and open to you. This is another great version with the legs apart, but still getting in the twist, still getting in all of the same work. It's just little puzzle pieces. How does it work today? You untwist. Think more knee to knee, which brings the right foot off of the mat. Bottom leg stays extended or not. Cow-faced legs fold over first to get more into the outer hip. Fly away. And then you come back upright in the torso, reach your arms to the sky. It should be your left hand, opposite arm that gives you a pat on the back, opposite arm up as the leg. And then the right hand goes behind your back, palm open, and tries to crawl up. Find your fingertips, or if you're like me, an end of your shirt or just the air. Lean your head back into your upper arm bone. Upper arm. Very good. Release. Lean back enough to extend both legs just straight out in front of you. Give it a little bit of a wiggle. Lie all the way down onto your back. Squeeze the knees into the chest. Take in your good work. Ocean has calmed. Easy waves, easy breath. Stretch one leg up. Give just a couple of breaths. Hold behind the leg. And then the other side. Let yourself unwind any last extra movement or just right into stillness. This is Shavasana. Take your time to come back to a seated position. As you do that, taking in these words one more time, a translation of the Yoga Sutra 2.51. When a wave comes, it washes over you and runs up the beach. Then the wave turns around and recedes over you, going back to the ocean. This is like the breath, which exhales, transitions, inhales, transitions, and then starts the process again. Inhale, transition. Exhale, transition. Start again. Bring palms together, thumbs to the sternum. The sound of Om to bring us into the transition of our yoga practice off the mat today. Empty out your breath. Take a deep breath in. Bow in from the light within me. I see and honor that same light within each of you. Namaste.